when you're down and you feel there's nowhere to go.
First of all, I said true love without adequate communication will become a toxic relationship.
You will still be there.
You will not be the in-laws that will say, why are you not fighting? Why are you? It's like they are saying deep things to themselves, and we are not parties to what they are saying.
What they're
Private
saying.
to it.
Because there's more like
There's
meets the
more.
eye than what
Yeah.
we see playing out on the.
He's talking therapy.
Welcome to Blast Urban 98.3, your generational radio. This is Talking Therapy right here on Blast Urban. The Blast Rise with Daniel and Islamiyah. We have Dr. Michael joining us in the studio this morning. Good morning to you, Dr. Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Islamiyah and Daniel.
Yes, sir.
D-I...
I trying to spell Daniel.
No. D-I...
D.
I think you can do D-I-M.
D-I-M. Yeah, so Daniel, Islamiyah, then Michael.
I think that's
Oh,
what
D.
you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Oh, now I get what you're trying to do. Oh, yes. But you're welcome to the show this morning, Dr. Michael. As always,
you.
Tuesday mornings are very fun with you.
Yeah.
And you can be part of this conversation. Please, by all means, you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message, a voice note on our studio line 0811 11 83 1983. This morning we want to look at a social political issue. All right, and for me it's just very concerning. I don't know, should we play clips from that from the birthday? There are a lot of them on Twitter, right? It was Fauci's birthday over the weekend.
Right.
And one of the personalities that was at the birthday celebration was former President Olusegun Obasanjo,
Right.
GCFR, who was at the birthday, and he said a couple of things about Fauci, which the internet agreed with, right? And for some reasons, Fauci and his wife stood there and were like, Obasanjo came to school this guy. He came to literally tell him, at 65, somebody needs to tell you the truth, which I feel like I agree. I don't know if the world agrees with what Obasanjo, but I agreed with what Obasanjo had said at his birthday. Like, yeah, you spoke truth to him. You told him what you liked, what he did that you did not like, the rubbish he had done. And if at 65, nobody can speak truth to you, then that's a problem. But after the birthday, Fauci's aide sends a letter back to Obasanjo and called his statement irresponsible. Said that, some people have said he belongs to the zoo, and he also agrees with that mindset. Said some derogatory words to the former president, which I'm like, the former president is not just the former president. First of all, he was the former president of the country. You had the audacity to say that to him. Two, he's old enough to be your father. And you had the audacity to think that you can speak to him in that manner. Not to even talk about the political weight that Obasanjo has and what he can command, and you think that you should respond to Obasanjo with that. Let's play a bit of it. Let people hear some of these things before we begin to dissect it.
Fauci's birthday. Want to remember he abused you. I say thank you for reminding me. In Yoruba land, we have a saying, until ilé ọmọ búburú fún ẹkùn pàjẹ́. We are not the best of my political children. We are not. But you have made achievement that must not be ignored. Because even to get me to come to this, you couldn't approach me directly. You send a sitter to come and sound me out. Adéwọ̀ bá ṣe rere ara tó wọ̀ ìyàwó. Àìṣeré ẹ̀ tó mi sí mi, you couldn't come direct. And when Osita came, I said, Osita, who also is a political child. I said, well, if he has sent you and you have delivered the message, then say to him that you have delivered the message. And then you phone me. And I said, Ayo who? And you say, Ayo Fawoshe. I said, yes, you can see me anytime. I made him at the wall.
What you do that I heard?
And then, even that, you take precaution. Oh, what direct Latin to knock at my door. You send solution as emissary to feel the pulse and see what the atmosphere will be. And solution came. And when solution came, I said, what has we come for? And about an hour later, it came. And you know that I had had the program which took me to Kigali 1 a.m. yesterday. And I was supposed to be in Kigali till Sunday. But when you then told me that your birthday is this Saturday, I said, whatever it is, I will make sure that I can. And there and then, I started making arrangements. Because ara ilé Malamudi, àwọn lára ta pé, and I want everybody to learn a lesson from there. And then, after you have heard from me, you phone your wife. And I spoke to your wife. And I said, Madam, you and your husband,
And she disarmed me.
and your wife completely disarmed me by saying, Baba, you are right. And then when you get that, then what else can I do? Baba, you are right. So, you've asked for forgiveness, and as far as I'm concerned, you are forgiven. But the lesson, the right lessons must be learned. As I said, we are all here to celebrate with you. 65 years on the surface of the earth, pẹ̀lú hílàhílò, and you are coming here.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting words from, and it's a lot lengthier than that. He said a few other things. Talked about projects, talked about how they came in contact and all of that. And for me, I was just very concerned on the response, and I just want you to maybe open the paper this morning and read.
Okay, so in the response, it says, Dear Baba Obasanjo, I trust this meets you well. You're coming to my birthday party. I appreciate, except for your very irresponsible comments at your age. You went so low, but I'm not surprised because someone once said you're supposed to be kept away in the zoo. Sincerely, that is where you belong. I kept quiet or did not reply you at the function so that the world will know the difference between a sane and a madman that you are. It is also obvious that you have also lost your sanity, or should I say it's the heightened stage of dementia. Not to worry, Baba. I shall set the record straight in due course of time. Lastly, I shall appreciate if you return my money since you publicly admitted you received it, but Dangote brought you back. Your leopard will never change its skin. That is the message that was sent to Obasanjo. And Obasanjo had replied saying, Ayo, thanks for your thank you message, which you undisguisedly reviewed who and what you are, unchanged and unchangeable. Your money has been sent back through Folusho Adiagbo, who brought it, and in the same bag as he brought it, unopened by me. That's what Obasanjo responded to that.
I'm very concerned at the display of this because it can happen at any level, you know. And I want to hear your 2 cents. And please, by all means, you can be part of this conversation to tell us what you think. And we would prefer to take WhatsApp messages and text messages for now, just so that we can give Dr. Michael some time to really address these issues. When you hear Obasanjo's message, you know, let's believe, let's stand on the ground that everything that Obasanjo said is true. You know, one thing that Obasanjo said, he said there's a difference between cleverness. How did he say that? There are 3 words he
I
used:
think he was saying something about bold, courageous.
bold, courageous, and hard foolishness. You know, and that really got me, because I'm like, yeah, I needed to also hear that line. That there's a difference between being courageous, being bold, and being hard foolishness. And I'm like, yeah. But you now hear the response of Fayoshi after the birthday. You know, and I'm like, where is the respect? Even not for anything, the age of the man that came to your birthday.
Okay.
And the questions around, maybe Obasanjo shouldn't have said what he said in public. But if he hadn't said that in public, we would never have seen this response from Fayoshi.
Okay, so there's an insight I got because while listening. So let me give an example of a couple. The man is a choleric phlegmatic. The wife is a sanguine phlegmatic. First of all, you don't want to have two phlegs in a marriage. One phleg is okay, because that means that phlegs have difficulty saying their mind. So that means that both of you you're going to have difficulty saying your mind, despite the fact that you love yourselves. But because one is choleric, one is sanguine, they will both love attention, and they will both want to compete for attention, and who talks more. So there will be a lot of clash. So what I see is that let's reverse. Okay, both of them seem to. It's like a relationship that could have worked. That's what I see. I see a very promising relationship, but I think both of Baba is known to always say his mind.
Yeah.
The way it is. And for me, from my analysis, I feel it's one of the things that is responsible for Baba living very long. Baba is very healthy, as we see, climb the stage, jump the stage, and he even tells people, don't try it, don't try it. Baba,
Like,
we should not try. You are trying. You are playing football.
Yeah.
And the same thing too with Professor Wole Soyinka. They say it. They don't even care whose ox is God. They might now come back to apologize later, maybe if what I said. I think they're also open to being criticized or being open to apologizing. I also feel that Mr. Ayofayoshe too is also like kind of person that says his mind too. Because I think I've listened to 1 or 2 videos or 1 or 2 videos where he literally was not really talking, saying a lot of things that maybe you could tell that he was talking as an individual, and he is not really afraid to talk as an individual on a national issue, and he was able to say his mind, which resonated with many people, and it was shocking to like, oh, so this man could actually say things like this, which was very nice. So I feel that both of them, they have that in common of being able to say, and then I think both of them also might also have issues with, if you offend them, they're also going to express their anger wherever it is. But I also know that both of them are also smart and intelligent. And I also know that I guess Baba just did it because he wanted us to be a part of the discussion.
Okay.
And he wanted us to just learn. That must have been his own wisdom. But I think Mr. Ayofayoshe must have looked at it from another angle of, it's my birthday, a public something. So but maybe while Baba was trying to teach, see, oh, this is an opportunity to teach the whole of, instead of me just doing it in a parlor, in a sitting room where there is no camera.
Yeah.
can I, as a father of the nation, can I use this
Opportunity
As a
to
teachable
teach.
moment.
and Baba is a teacher.
Mm.
He can is a teacher. So I think there's a kind of miscommunication. It's a very promising relationship if well cultivated could be very, very powerful, and it could actually like change many things, because I see that they believe in a lot of things together, which can really, really help the nation. I feel that both of them have very sincere hearts for the nation. They want the nation to um, to develop and things like that. So that's what I can see. They have these things in common, and they can also get angry, as you have also seen that he was also angry,
Yeah.
and he expressed those were just angry words.
Yeah, but
But I mean, when you're talking about angry words, there's the aftermath of anger,
Yes,
which is what is something that has been experienced now. This is a public thing. If it was
He was
between both of
embarrassed.
yeah,
He
so
felt
yeah,
he
embarrassed.
felt embarrassed, and Baba also felt embarrassed from whatever was
Had
happening
happened
in the
before.
past.
Yeah.
There's a famous line that I learned a few years ago. There's one thing to be disrespected, there's another thing to feel disrespected.
Yes.
Now, and for anyone who is listening this morning, from the voice we've played of Baba at the Fayoshe's birthday, do you think that Baba Obasanjo was disrespectful to Fayoshe, or that Fayoshe is only feeling disrespected?
Exactly.
You have to be able to clarify both.
Yeah.
So think about that while you send us a message.
Exactly. So I felt he probably did not receive, probably the whole thing was not, he felt somehow, he felt like disrespected, and then he now disrespected. But those were just angry words. And when you are angry, you'll be tempted to say a lot. You'll be tempted to act in a lot of ways that you might look back.
and
And remember, it's just miscommunication. Somebody's giving out something. Somebody is not receiving it well. It doesn't mean that he is saying, well, Baba. He doesn't mean that he does not respect Baba. That's the funniest thing.
Even with this word, it doesn't mean that he doesn't respect Baba.
It doesn't.
Really?
Because if he doesn't respect Baba, or if he didn't, why will he invite him?
why would he go to such lengths?
Because
again, I mean,
Baba took us as a teacher. He took us through all the steps.
The steps to get him to now.
He wanted Baba's. Just look at a father and a son. Can that happen? Let me ask you.
Wanted Baba's validation.
Yeah, let's look at it in form of a father and a son in a family. Can it happen? It can happen.
Yes.
And the son too can respond this way to the father. And if after the father, you understand. So, so you asked the question now.
What was my question?
I don't think it was a question. I think it was a statement.
It was
a statement.
Yeah.
I was like, that the father to son relationship.
Yeah, it's a father. So what happened? It can happen between a biological father, a father and a biological son.
Where the son is seeking validation. I remember what I said.
So
his son is seeking validation.
Yeah, there is seeking validation. If you say validation, I don't know if that's the word I will use. I think I will say, yeah, maybe the validation is the best word to use. They both love themselves. Have you seen people who are in love? And they are both, and they both no, and they are both extroverts.
I don't know. Have I seen? I don't think so. But because he's giving toxic.
Yeah.
The way in which they're expressing
when
it.
there is true love and there is no adequate communication, it will become toxic.
Okay. Okay, so you feel like that's what's happening in this case.
So this person is talking, I won't receive it well. I will think of it in another way. Have you seen those guys, boys and girls who love themselves in secondary school, primary school? They used to be like the strongest enemies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
there was that.
Used
There was that, yeah.
Used to look toxic.
Yeah.
Then you will now discover that they are now in love. You will now say, so you guys were in love
all this time.
Yeah, that was what you were doing.
So when Baba has a very strong personality, I think he's a choleric. Mr. Ayofayoshe is also a strong personality, but he has an introvert. So I think I would say he's primarily an introvert, but secondarily a choleric or an introvert. But Baba is primarily an extrovert, choleric, and so that's why Baba was talking.
Yeah.
And
It was
then
quite-
when he now puts it in, now you understand. So you're not likely going to find both of them throwing fiery words at the
At the
same
same
time.
time.
One will allow
But
you
is
to
that
do
not should I call it dangerous? I mean, for somebody to like when you're upset about something, obviously he was upset about
They
it, but
were
he was
just
not visibly upset about
Yeah.
it. So it took like that thing where somebody does something to you and you're taking like
Yeah.
hours to think
To
about it. Like
process it, and like,
when you're
maybe I should have
processing,
responded
maybe I should have said this thing. So we all
Yes,
have that
it
thing that we
happens.
say maybe I should have.
Yes.
But now in this case, he
said
did.
it.
So is it not?
I think it pained him.
Is it not concerning that when you are angry over something and you've thought about it and
Yeah.
then you decide that you know what, I'm going to do my own back.
Yeah.
Even after you've thought about it and you're thinking, well, maybe I should have said something at this point. So you didn't say anything. You've allowed it to marinate a little bit, but then you still responded because it's still fire for fire if you think about it.
Yeah. So first of all, I said true love without adequate communication will become a toxic relationship.
True love without adequate
Adequate.
communication will become toxic.
Yes,
Okay.
that is what is happening here, and that he felt probably he felt like he should have responded immediately. Then he didn't. That must have gotten him like, oh, I should have responded. He didn't respond. Then he now responded now. But if we now give it time, we might have somebody saying, oh, I think I misprocessed. I didn't really process the whole thing well. But those people that are in love. When people are in love, you don't want to be in between them.
So now this is us being
But
in
we are
between
in
them.
between.
Yes.
This is
And I think it's
social
even-
media and everybody being in
Because
between
I
them.
bet you they are going to reconcile.
By the time they reconcile, we
You
become
will
bad
see
guys.
me there.
You will not be the in-laws that will say, why are you not fighting?
Why?
Why are you?
But me, I feel like it's not even becoming more toxic because you know how when somebody does something to you and you let people know about it and they're like, oh, you shouldn't have let the person say this thing. So people would help. They would tell you how they would have processed that thing because this is us talking about the fact that if it
Yeah.
was me, maybe I wouldn't have taken it like so deep. It was just talking. Maybe this is how I would have received it. So that means that people are involved. The whole third party elements now. We're involved. We're all seeing it playing out in real time.
Well, smart people would not want to be involved because especially when you say that these two,
Yeah.
it's like they are saying deep things to themselves, and we are not parties to what they are
To
saying.
what they're
Private
saying.
to it.
Because there's more like
There's
meets the
more,
eye than what
yeah.
we see playing out on the
I
internet.
tell you, these guys are in love.
Stay there. Look.
These two guys are. Just think of a father and a son, and then you have that. And it will always happen. It will always happen when you have people who have a lot in common with each other.
It would happen with people who have a lot in common with each other.
And
That's a tricky
and
one.
it's just because they are extrovert. That's why we are saying it in the public.
Mhm.
If they were like introverts but the same and have the same in common,
Yeah.
you won't see it.
Mm.
We won't sit in front of camera,
Yeah.
but it will be like in the sitting room or whatever that those was, and then it might even take longer period for them to be able to process and then say the way it is. And I feel that when you have an introvert and an extrovert temperament together, there's always one pulling you. Maybe the introvert is saying don't respond to him now, don't respond to Baba now, or you might end up saying what you don't want to say. Then the other extrovert is saying, no, you must not get cold. Say it now. And that brings us to the internal struggles that we all go through, especially people who have, because we have 4 temperaments, but 2 are predominant. Out of those 2, one is primary, one is secondary. So if you now have 2 predominant temperaments, one is introvert, the other one is extrovert, they will just be pulling you. So without anybody challenging you, have World War III inside
Going
you.
on inside
Yeah.
So I feel that must have been what why the other part of him say, why did you keep quiet on the stage?
Yeah.
Why did you two collect the mic and give him heart to heart? Oh yeah, respond now. I'm not saying that's what happened. But because later on he's going to say, oh, Baba is my father. And then you, the in-laws, will now say,
which one is your father again now? Should you don't already call her reinforce to say it belongs in
and
you.
we say, can we not call our father responsible? Will he not still remain our father? And then what will you now say?
We got messages here that have come in, and you can keep sending us messages 081 11 831983. Oluwanifemi from Airport Road says they are all the same, just pot calling kettle black. We have voice notes, and I'm a little bit careful to play the voice note. Angela. And okay, Angela says, "Good morning, Daniel and Islamiyah. Old age is not tantamount to maturity and wisdom. Both of them are wanting in decorum, but I apportion more blame on Obasanjo because he's older and should display more restraint." Now, let's hear the voice note that Angela sent. Angela, please. I've not seen work in Ilepo.
Yes, good morning. This is Angela. Well, there is this culture that we have in Yoruba land that the elderly are to be respected and all of that. No! When the elderly behaves anyhow, they will receive such response. The Baba spoke too much. The Baba spoke too much. Right? Baba spoke too much. There are some things you just let go. And that was the 65th birthday, and you made it about yourself. So, do you get, as we have said that he has said the truth? Of course, he has said the truth. But then, that was 55th birthday, his 65th birthday. At least make it less controversial. You're an elderly man. As an elderly man over 90, you're expected to be, to restrain yourself no more. So, for the fact that Tayo gave him that response, yes, although we condemn it, but both of them have displayed condemnable behavior. So one is not, right or wrong. Both are wrong. But I blame Obasanjo more. It's his 55th birthday. If he still had some axe to grind with him, he should have been in another, fora. Do you get? Like probably if he's speaking generally, he would have singled him out. But that was his birthday. Now everything is all about the comment and all of that. So it's quite all right.
So I think from Angela's perspective, it's like Obasanjo took away the shine from the celebrant to himself, which is attention seeking. The highlight of that birthday.
We might not be sure of the attention seeking because there's no proof. But what we can sense from those words were not coming from to me, they weren't coming from a hate or it's just. Do you know that the same thing can happen between a father and his son on his son's birthday because of the love
that they have for each other,
the unresolved love, this love that we have
unresolved,
this love that we have for each other. To what end is this love? It's too much. This tension, this connection is too much. What are we doing with it?
Okay, we have another voice
that can
note.
make people to just,
I'm trusting Oluwadam Lola with this voice note that I'm about to play.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, everybody in the studio. This is Damilola. Well, I believe that a dog that invites lion to his party should be ready to be bathed in blood. Fayose to have taken that bold step of inviting Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to his birthday party, considering the rift that have been between them politically in the past, you should expect such things. But I must say, Baba Obasanjo have behaved like an elderly man. Everybody that graced that occasion would have expected that, okay, if Baba was a good man, Baba would have used that occasion to say out his mind, settle all the grudges that both him and Fayose have been nursing in between themselves in the past. So it is expected that that day, it's a platform. Probably Baba was thinking that was what Fayose even was trying to do. That he's going to use that birthday occasion to settle all the grudges between them. That was why he invited him in the first place. So, and Baba as an elderly man, clear out his mind. I'm saying this the way I saw the issue, right? So, he used that occasion to clear out his mind. He say out his mind. Even his conversation with Fayose's wife. Say, I mean, in the sense that, okay, if you are good, there have been issue between us, then it should have been settled. You should have called me and apologize, and this will have been settled. I think that is what Baba was trying to say by that statement. That even if there is argument between me and Fayose, you, the wife, you are supposed to step in and settle the issue. And thank God the wife had agreed to that. But for Fayose to now come out with that type of, I don't know how the adjective I can use for that English to qualify everything Fayose says. It's bad, it's terrible, it's uncalled for to an elderly man, to an elderly statesman, to a former president of the country. In every ramification, it is very, very wrong for Fayose to have come out to say all those words to that Baba. Well, it furtherly shows in the reply of Baba Obasanjo to his letter that Fayose is an unrepentant man that doesn't have regards for an elderly person. And the law of karma says what you do to others is what you receive. So Fayose as well, he has his political children as well that are growing now. So you should expect all these things from them later in the day. There's one Yoruba day that says, so that when the Aburo will want to bury the person, he will bury the person the same way he has buried his elderly brother as well. But it's very unfortunate that all these things are happening between our leaders in this country. Personally, my fear for Nigeria, we pray for Nigeria every day, right? That Nigeria should be better. But when you see all these things, what sign does it show that Nigeria will be better? If those that should come together to solve this problem of the country, let there be peace in the country and all those things. If these things are happening between them, then when exactly is Nigeria going to be better? That is my personal issue with all these rifts between our leaders. Anyway, we can only pray and hope that God will help Nigeria. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Damilola. I appreciate the comment for being very modest in its way, and everybody expressing themselves and telling us how they really feel about this whole situation. As a young person, I was somewhere yesterday and I was telling people, they were asking if I've had issues with like working with, in different places, and if I've had issues with management. And the first thing I said, I'm a very stubborn person. I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn-headed. I'm very certain in my ways, and
in a silent way.
I get coconut head.
But in a silent
way. In a silent way. But I'd like to like always show that once in a while that you can't just ride me over.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen situations where the boss has done something really wrong, and they expect you to be quiet.
Right.
Because he's your boss, because he can take food from your mouth, because he's the boss, he can fire you unexpectedly.
Right.
I've seen situations where bosses fire for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
They just make up an excuse,
mm-hmm.
and they won't even do it themselves. They use their HRs to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen situations where you get a letter and you just know where the letter came from. You just know that the HR doesn't have the guts to send this letter to you. This is the handwriting of the owner of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
A few times, how do we begin to manage that? Because sometimes it can really be frustrating when you are using your privilege or your veto power as a boss to carry out these activities, and it is wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, this Obasanjo story is also about handling criticisms. Or criticism. How do I undo? And the best way to go about it is what was said. Do I consider it as being the truth? How true is this statement? Then I'll be able to separate the person from the issue. Once you're able to separate the person from the issue, it helps you to be able to objectively look at the statement and be able to analyze it and know where it is coming from. When it comes to being a boss, the lesson there is that everybody who wants to be a boss goes beyond, hello, I'm Islamiyah, I'm the CEO of Kinikon. It goes beyond the CEO. There's a lot of responsibility attached to it. Every CEO has to go beyond just being a positional leader to also having a moral authority. What stands Baba out is the moral. There seems to be this moral authority he has that even after many years of leaving office, people still see him, still need his validation. So I feel when bosses are able to occupy not just positional leadership, but they also see themselves as having a moral authority or having a role in the lives of the people working under them.
Yeah.
It helps them to know how to go about whatever they want to go about. And even if they want to fire, it helps them to be able to say, you're able to look into the person's eyes and say, this and this and this are the reasons why I am still, these are the things you have been doing and I don't like. And I've done this, and I will still fire you. so that you can learn.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of maturity, and one has to be able to do that because um, you can always meet people at different levels anywhere, anytime. And work goes beyond work. It's also a place where people grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why people are working under you is because of growth. And they may not work under you forever. So it's your role to say, what is going to be my role in the lives of these people?
Yeah.
What's beyond the money that I'm paying them? And once we're able to be clear about that, then it helps us to be able to know how to manage situations and how to manage and make decisions. But I would not lie, being assertive and also being empathetic as a leader, those are two different words that requires a lot of maturity.
And wisdom.
Yeah, and what really helps to bring the two together is when you have relationship with people who work with you and under you. And for my sessions with leaders, I discovered that they have a lot of issues with having relationship.
Yeah.
The people that they work with.
Yes, and not just with people you work with alone, even with your clients. And I agree. There's a the line between you and your clients being the relationship. Something is also like where the professional line, the relationship line is very blurry.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of maturity to be able to navigate the two, because your friend can be your client and also be your friend. And you are just talking about, oh, what about that Shegi Lola, what she did? And then this same friend is not saying, hey, what you are selling, I want to buy. Almost like in the same breath. In 1 second is your friend, in another second your client. So how do you now navigate? Then you now readjust again and say, okay, so how many products do you want? How much are you sending? How much are you paying? And just like that. And it now goes back to my own personal life. How I'm the CEO of my life. How assertive I am on myself. How do I manage my time? How do I manage my resources? How do I manage my life? Am I because there's also the south side of being empathetic. You must not go do things at your own expense. You must be able to do things only because you want to do them. So once you are able to manage your life, manage your relationship with people in the right way, and you're able to navigate being the professional line and then the relationship line, it then helps you. It's the same principle that are going to apply in your workplace. So I feel the easy way to go about it is still coming back to that point, always being myself.
Always be yourself. But me, I want to talk about that maturity thing, because I mean, because in this case, it's reactions that is causing all of these things. Something happened, they both reacted. The way that they reacted, maybe it's something that people think is not mature. So how do you know how to react to things? Because I mean, you don't know, you can't do something to somebody and expect that they will react the way you think they will react. I can slap Daniel now and he might smile. I can slap you and he might slap me back. I cannot say because I slapped Daniel. Don't worry, I will slap. I can't say because I slapped Daniel now. I should expect that if I slap you, it's going to be the same thing. I can't expect that because I shout at people in my house. When I go out, I'm shouting at people outside too, and they will react like the same way. So there's a reaction is like very important in the things that we do. And when people do things to us, sometimes they don't want us to react a certain way. But then you as well, I mean, you're talking about that conflicting thing where you're like, oh, I should have done it. So I have that thing. I don't like shouting with people. If you insult me, I'll just be looking at you. I don't like shouting. It's only if I'm really, really, I do comfort, but I don't like the whole shouting thing. If you do something to me, I'll tell you. I'll confront you about it. But if you are shouting, I'll just be looking at you. So there's always that thing where I'll feel like, oh, maybe I should have just said, oh, you two, you're stupid. You two, but eventually I don't end up saying it.
Right.
It's just something that is in my head where I'm like, oh, I should have probably said that this person was stupid. And I think about it from time to time. And that's
it pains you.
And then it pains me and I'm like, I shouldn't have been quiet. I should have just said, you two, you're a stupid person. But then most times I always just, because I don't want to shout, I just don't say anything. So that's like, if I had said something too, there's something else that would have happened. Something will spawn from that, and then it's just like a reaction. So most of these things is like reaction still.
Yeah.
So how do you know how to like react in a very mature way? Because the things that you do would also affect the people around you.
Yeah. So like, thank you for that question. I know that Islamiyah is as phlegmatic I think I was able to conclude that last week. So she's quiet. She does not like confrontation. Phlegmatics take time to process what you say to them, and then
Oh my
they
God,
now
them.
respond. But she also has an extrovert part. So I'm trying to figure out which one is primary, which one is secondary. I'm still working on that. The way people respond is based on their temperament, whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. So like introverts take a long time to process, and then they might now respond like, what you said to me 19, what you said, like they will now start talking about.
Yeah.
So because they want to process and figure out why did you say that, why did you do that, and then they will now try to now respond. Unlike extroverts who, without really processing that much, they just give you hotspots,
Yes.
and then they
Yes.
now come back later to
So,
say sorry.
sorry.
So I feel it's important to first of all, and those people that talk too much, the extroverts, they are the ones that really need help. They now talk down on introverts, and they say you guys, you need help, whereas the person that really needs help is the extrovert. The introvert does not talk, so he's seen as a weakling or somebody who does not know what he or she is doing. And then they also feel like maybe like fools. Why did I talk immediately? What we say is that if you need to shorten the period of response.
Yeah. Don't let it stay too long before you respond. Yeah. I had to learn that the hard way.
So shortening the period of response helps you to get yourself together, and because sometimes you might need to respond, sometimes you might not need.
Knowing when and when not to respond.
That's the second point. Number one is you need to shorten, because as you delay it, it's affecting your mental health. It's destroying your self-confidence.
Makes you angry.
Your mind is already absorbing what the person said.
Yeah.
So of course, when you hear those negative stuff, what you first of all need to do is to cancel the effect of that statement by what we call revision technique, which is number one. Look for a particular word, which I said at your program. It might be oriki, it might be I'm calm, I'm beautiful, and whatever makes you calm, say it to yourself. By doing that, you are able to nullify the negative effect, the emotional negative effect on that or you, and then you now process what is being said. Why did this person say this, and just like that. Once you're able to do that, it then helps you to know whether you have to respond or not. But I will not lie, to be able to shorten the time of response, you need to have a lot of capacity. You need to be able to have built a lot of capacity, because phlegmatics, introverts, really, they cannot respond. Should I say they cannot respond? They find it difficult responding. They don't like confrontation.
Well, because of our time, we're running out of time, and this Angela's comment also reminded me of a tweet that was made by one of my friends recently. It says, "I have come to the realization that we, as human beings, irrespective of age, that we all thought should advance our virtue depth. The display from the 90 and 65-year-old man has made that position incorrect. Since the elderly are the ones that require parenting or direction from the younger ones now, the elderly should not demand decorum from the young, because they are not measuring. They are not measuring no more to standard. They are no longer used as the measuring for standard. And Adenike tweeted something recently that the most disrespectful people are elderly people. And it's becoming concerning on a lot of grounds. How do we begin to balance our day-to-day activity? We've seen how, we, as a young person, you find yourself in circles, find yourself in places, and you hear comments, and you're wondering, why do you think you should talk like that? Why do you think you can say something like that to a younger person? Why do you think you should have the ability? Why do you think that you should say that you're an elderly person and I don't want to talk to you rudely, but you've said this, I need to give. And it's how do we as young people who are also growing up to be elderly people, be able to balance this, and when should we or not correct the elderly?
Well, I think it's being able to see through what the elderly person actually wants something. That's what is behind. That is what is behind the public display. what's this person's love language? So that might be one of the reasons.
Mm.
And then it's called that when you now satisfy their love language, they now calm down.
Mm.
So you want to find out what is the love language of the person. What does this person really want? What is really the burning desire in this person's mind? Let's look beyond the fact that maybe they are trying to talk down people. They may not also be in the right mental frame. They may not also have the right mental state.
Mm.
And they just feel that it is the younger people who are not allowed to talk in Yoruba culture or whatever. They should be the one I should transfer my aggression to them. So yes, elderly people also see young people as like the ones to transfer my aggression to. So I think younger people should be able to see through that,
Yeah.
and see that that person that you think is always talking down on you actually is asking for help. So when the person is shouting, just keep looking at the person. Keep looking.
They're asking for help.
You will just,
Clock it. This is what this person needs.
and then you will just say, oh, I'm so sorry. Then the same way Fayoshe's wife disarmed Baba.
Yeah.
Even Baba said she disarmed me.
Yeah.
So, and then you just say that, and then, that was all Baba wanted, to agree that I was right.
Yeah.
So once we know what the person wants, then he helps a lot. Don't forget that as younger people are also going through a lot, elderly people too are going through a lot.
Maybe only they go through a lot.
Everybody
they go through their own a lot. We are all going through a lot
But
together.
don't use your a lot as an excuse to be rude
So
and
the-
wicked to people.
So the way to now go about it is not now shouting back, but to just redirect the anger.
The anger.
And say, sir, we are both going through a lot.
I'm not the only one. No.
So I should not be the one to receive your aggression. Let's channel this aggression towards the right channel.
We're going to have to let you go now, Dr. Michael. It's already 5 minutes past 10. And we want to thank you for always doing this with us. Remember, you can reach out to Dr. Michael across all social media platforms at Dr. Michael. The recording of today's episode will be available on Instagram at Dr. Michael, on YouTube at Dr. Michaels, and on Spotify at Dr. Michaels. On that note, thank you, Dr. Michael.